subject that didn't start with philosophy. By the end of this presentation, you won't be able to.
We are philosophy scholars who understand the value of studying philosophy. We are both currently taking philosophy classes, and we are amazed about how much knowledge we have gained. Philosophy is the door to knowledge.
Today we'll explain to you how philosophy broadens your perspective on life, enhances your critical thinking, and is the basis of all sciences.
First, philosophy broadens our perspective on life. You may be wondering how. We are all naturally a practical man who puts our needs first, which according to Russell, he defines that as a practical man. According to Russell, who is a philosopher who discovered the value of studying philosophy, the life of the instinctive man is shut up within the circle of his private interests. Family and friends may be included, but the outer world is not regarded. Although this makes logical sense, according to Russell, this also makes us socially useless. The practical man, within his selfishness, disregards the beliefs and opinions of the people around him. We are all born practical men, but philosophy broadens our perspective on life by introducing us to new possibilities. One example of this is philosopher René Descartes. Philosopher René Descartes, he questioned his own beliefs and his own existence in addition to everything around him through exile. While in exile, he reflected, but it now occurs to me that there is another way of investigating whether some of the things of which I possess ideas exist outside me. So Descartes, through his method of doubt, was able to identify all the possibilities of the existence of the world and justify his own beliefs. So as a result, philosophy broadens our perspective on life by introducing us to new possibilities and allowing us to be open-minded enough to obtain knowledge from those around us.
Second, philosophy enhances your critical thinking skills. It forces you to define your beliefs with certainty. Many philosophers have posed philosophical questions to get us to think philosophically. Questions like, is there such a thing as true free will? And does God exist and how do you know? Plato recounted the story of Euthyphro and Socrates. Euthyphro was a young man who put his father on trial for murder on the grounds of piety. Socrates asked Euthyphro the definition of piety. Euthyphro responded that piety is what is loved by the gods. Socrates then countered with this question. Is the pious loved by the gods because it is pious, or is it pious because it's loved by the gods? Euthyphro did not know the answer to this question. The answer was that it's pious because it's loved by the gods. Socrates' point was that Euthyphro did not know the definition well enough to be putting his father on trial for murder. Philosophy asks us questions that force us to think critically to define our beliefs, giving us the skills necessary to succeed in other areas of life.
Finally, philosophy is the root of knowledge. The origin of every subject is philosophy. According to Russell, it is true that it partly accounted for by the fact that as soon as a definite knowledge concerning any subject becomes possible, this subject ceases to be called philosophy and becomes a separate science. So in other words, as soon as philosophy brings a thought down to a claim, that subject separates and becomes a field of its own.
We see this proven in the fact that many philosophers are the founding fathers of other sciences. Democritus was the first philosopher to realize that the celestial body we call the Milky Way is actually formed from the light of distant stars. He was also among the first to propose that the universe contains many worlds. He, moreover, was the first to observe that a pyramid had 1/3 the volume of a cylinder, also making him a pioneer of mathematics and geometry. Descartes' study of the human mind led to psychology. Epictetus' swerve theory of atoms and unpredictable movement led to physics. Pascal was a mathematical genius through critical thinking, and Aristotle's social philosophy made him the father of politics.
So today we explained how philosophy broadens our perspective on life, forces us to think critically, and is the basis of all sciences.
Philosophy is the door to knowledge.
So, do you really know what you know?